I have memories of being an alien on Earth while the humans were around. Let's talk about it. The last 4 years, I've been remembering more and more of my own past lives. I have memories of being a human incarnated here on planet Earth, but I also have plenty of memories of being an alien on some kind of extraterrestrial planet, being part of different kinds of societies, different kinds of collectives, and also doing all sorts of jobs, which is super interesting, by the way, the kinds of jobs that I was doing up there. So it allowed me to gain a broader understanding of the journey of the soul and the evolution path that each one of us is on and how each individual lifetime ties into that. So for today, I thought I'd share the first lifetime that I remembered of being an alien and the first alien memory that came to me as well, which is a big and juicy one because listen, come a bit closer. I was an alien on planet Earth while the humans were around. So, let's talk about it. Let me first start off by talking about how this memory came into my awareness, because it was triggered by the most random shit, to be honest with you. I watched a pick-a-card reading here on YouTube, which had nothing to do with past lives whatsoever. Because I don't, at that point, I had past life memories from being incarnated as a human, but that's one thing. I knew somewhere in the back of my mind that I was a starseed and, it was something that clicked with me, but I never investigated anything else about it. It was something that I knew. I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I dropped it. So it was a pick-a-card reading. Also not about starseed. It was about the element of water, I think, something super random. And I think the channel is the Ali the Sea Owl, I think. And I watched one of her readings, which was, of the water element. And in this reading, she pulled some cards from that she connected to the Tutua de Danann, which if you're not familiar with them, that's the name of the fae folk in Irish folklore. And she spoke about a specific kind of banishment, just like as a story. And she pulled a couple more cards and just said, I think you have some connections to that. She pulled a couple more cards and one of them was about you are not alone. And I don't know what happened in my body, but I got the biggest emotional reaction to her sharing that aspect of that kind of story and the you are not alone. And I full on started to cry. I cried in a way and for a couple of hours that I don't think I've ever cried before. And I had such a moment of recognition where I found myself there, and it was like I started to remember something that I've forgotten for a long time. So that really, really triggered me, hugely triggered me, really, really. Wow, I can't explain it. It was, like I said, it was like I woke up, and I remember I got up and I walked into the bathroom and I looked into the mirror, and it was the weirdest thing because it was like another part of my soul had woken up, and that part of myself was looking at me through the mirror, and it was a part that was like, oh my God. Why am I back here again? Why are we here? Why am I in this body? What am I doing here? What is going on? Like I said, super, super big emotional reaction to waking up and finding myself in what I can only describe as me seeing this body that I'm in right now, looking at this vessel, because that's what it felt like in the moment of waking up and being like, oh my God, why am I back here? What am I doing? Okay, checking everything out was the weirdest thing. So naturally I had a bit of work to do surrounding that topic. And I booked a hypnosis session, a past life hypnosis, because I was like, clearly I need to look at this topic of banishment and whatever else is connected to that. I need to look at that. And I also didn't research beforehand, by the way. I was just like, okay, I'm going into this open-minded. and let me just see what I can gather. So what I'm about to share with you is the information that I received in that hypnosis session. I'm editing now, and I forgot to say, huge trigger warning for this episode. Obviously, we're talking about death, so any gruesome way that you can imagine possibly someone dying, it might be in there. So, okay, if you're not in the headspace for it, just skip this episode, because there are also going to be ones where there won't be such gruesome ways of death circumstances, I guess. We're talking about war as well, by the way, so, huge trigger warning. If you're not in the headspace, drop it. Let's continue. Listen, my body was unlike mine, and everything was so ready to dive into this memory that the moment I was laying down and I was guided into the hypnosis, they have like a little bit at the beginning where it's like, okay, close your eyes, take deep breaths, let go. I can tell you, as soon as I closed my eyes like that, I was in that place. I was immediately in that memory, remembering and seeing. And I found myself at a mountaintop in that memory, at a mountaintop. And it was a mountaintop, with lots of greenery around. There were roses and other kinds of plants. And there was kind of a circle with 12 stones. And on top of the stones was some moss. And there were 12 beings there, like 12 aliens, and I was one of them. So I was seeing this memory from this perspective of, I was there, I sat there. When I looked down, I could look at my hands and the way that they looked, the kind of clothing that I was wearing, and I saw everything. Okay, so just so you know. And in that memory, I was sitting there and I attended actually a war meeting. I was one of 12 heads, I guess, that were there in this war meeting. And I had a very high position in that kind of society or in that kind of time, because I can only describe the position that I had as being their high priestess. So I was a very, very powerful seer. I was able to tap into different timelines. I was able to see the probability of each timeline as well as it shifted and moved, etc., as people took different actions or other beings took different actions. And I was able to see that timeline and the probability of it. And we were having a war meeting, because the story before that point of us being in this war meeting is that the alien race that I was a part of was one of the Nordic aliens, which connects to the planet of Lyra, which was destroyed in the war with the Draconians and the Reptilians. For looking into galactic history there. Because of that war, I lost my home planet. So there was a period of time where we were trying to find new places to live and trying to find new places to be. And essentially each time that we found a new place to be, we were hunted by the reptilians. So they came and found us. And each time we had to move and we had to move and we had to move. Until there was a moment in time where we came to Earth. It was a moment in Earth history that is not known at the present time, but I think that will change, but that's a different story, where there were plenty of different alien civilizations coming to Earth in ancient times, so when the ancient civilizations were around the world. All these alien races came for different reasons to Earth. A huge aspect was to help the advancement of the civilizations, to bring different kinds of technology, but it was also an act of discovery and understanding the way that this planet works, the way that the flora and fauna works here, how the Earth is made, the kinds of resources that are here, not necessarily to drain the Earth of it, not at all, but to help the societies live in harmony and to help it flourish, the Earth flourish. So you had different kinds of alien races coming down and bringing all different sorts of knowledge. But I will say it was a bit, depending on which alien race you're looking at and which part of the society you were looking at, they were I'm going to say, keep it lightly and say more or less pure intentions when coming down and taking influence on these civilizations. So, depending on it. For us, it was, we were trying to help, we were trying to support. And again, like I said, we were looking for a place that we could stay, because our home planet was lost. We've been hunted all around the galaxy, all around the universe. So, we were looking for a place to stay. So we were down here on Earth, and we were around the area of Ireland. That's where we were staying. And in that lifetime, we fought a couple of wars because, like I said, there were plenty of alien civilizations coming to Earth and trying to bring their imprint onto this planet. So places and colony civilizations were quite coveted from that perspective. So there have been a couple of wars in between the alien races to kind of fight for a space on Earth. We were part of 2 wars. The first one we won, which is why we stayed. And the second one is where my memory takes place, because the second one we lost. And the second one was against a hybrid race of reptilians mixed with some humans. So, it was also some kind of extraterrestrial race. And they were also fighting us. Now, with this memory, let me bring you back to the stone circle that I was at. In this war meeting, it was the last big war meeting that we had before we lost the battle. And I felt so heavy going into this war meeting because, remember, I was the seer, I was the psychic, the high priestess of that clan, I guess. And I knew that we were going to lose the battle. I knew that we were gonna lose, and I've known that we would lose for plenty of battles beforehand, because you don't just have one battle, you don't have one huge epic fight and then the battle is over. You have like several fights and regrouping and re-strategizing, and it was a longer period of time where that kind of war was going on against that hybrid reptilian race. And throughout this, I could see the probability of of us winning, like dwindling and like going down to 0. And for the last battle as well, I knew that we were going to lose. I knew that there was no possible timeline for us to win this fight. So that's the information that I went into the war meeting with. I will also say that the other heads of the clan, and I say heads of the clan, I mean that each one was a specialist in their fields. For me, it was the psychic development. I was also I created some kind of tools, I guess. I was like I built different kinds of tools, like highly technological tools, but I was also highly psychic and I was able to see. And these 2 things belong together, by the way, the way in which I could create tools and the psychic vision that I had. So I went into this meeting, and of course I shared as well that we were going to lose. Like, I know that we're going to lose, and everyone there believed me, because there was a long history of me also being able to then see when the reptilians were coming to find us, and like us being able to flee at the right time, etc. So I built credibility surrounding this. So everyone else, like every head of this clan, like in this war meeting, knew that what I was saying was correct, and it was essentially a battle of life or death, because we had nowhere else to go. And that's why we decided, I say we, I didn't want to, but overruled. That's why everyone decided, okay, we're going to send them into battle regardless, which is the most heartbreaking thing that I can think of, to have the full knowledge for so long, and that was part of the memory as well. I then started to see bits of that lifetime beforehand of the other previous battles that have taken place in that same war, and how like all of my loved ones were there. And I'm getting emotional speaking about this now. How all of my loved ones were there, and like one by one I saw them dying, because each time like I had to send everyone into battle. I knew that we would lose. I knew that they would die. I knew that all of my friends would die. I knew that my lover would die that I had there as well. And like, each time I would send them into battle, like one by one, I had to send them into battle. And I knew that I was sending everyone into death. That's what it felt like, okay? I was sending everyone into death because I had the full awareness and knowledge that that was going to happen. So for the last battle, where actually only 2 of my friends were left, and I also knew that they wouldn't make it. So you see me getting so emotional about this because like I can't describe this feeling of having the full awareness that like no one would make it, and sending everyone into battle, and you can't tell them that they're gonna lose, because you need to keep, at least like on the surface, you need to keep some kind of morale up, right? So everyone in the circle knew what I knew, but not necessarily the whole part of the society that we were cultivating or that we had here on Earth. Not everyone knew that. It was like really the inner circle that knew that, and I had all of this knowledge like bottled up inside of me, and saying goodbye to all of my loved ones before the battles, let them know that how much I cared for them, etc. So heavy, really heavy. And I sent everyone in the last battle, and naturally we didn't make it. There was a moment in time where in this battle I had a choice to make. And the choice was, because also from the 12 heads, there were many of the 12 heads were falling. I don't know how many exactly, but I know many. And there was a moment in time where I had to make a decision. And my decision was either because I was very powerful also as a fighter in that way. I can't verbalize, like my human mind can't comprehend the kind of power that I had, but I know it was like along the lines of like psychic power and psychic attacks. Also with the gadgets that I invented, doing more along the like technological lines and like targeting consciousness. I can't tell you. I don't know. But I was very powerful, that I do know. And I had a choice to make. And the choice was either because I know, like it was the turning point. Like we had lost. Like it was clear that we had lost. And there was a turning point of either, because I was so angry as well, like lots of anger. Either I go out for a last blow and I kill as many of the others of the others as I can, but I knew I would die in the process, or I lay down my weapons, I lay down my guards, and I surrender, and I can help the people from my society that were still around. And I decided to lay down the weapons. So I chose the second option of helping my people, dealing with the after effects of whatever was going to happen. So we were defeated, and we had the remaining heads of us had like meetings with the leaders from the other race, etc. And essentially we made some kind of deal how we could still stay on Earth, because like I said, we had nowhere else to go. But we were kind of tricked in this deal, and we got also the raw end of the deal, and I guess we didn't fully pay attention. And essentially we could stay on Earth, but not on the surface, and we were banished underneath the surface of the Earth. So we were banished into the underground. And we went deep into the Earth, and there was a moment in this memory that I can't fully recall, because there was like a huge door that was made of stone that was like closed, and everything else that was left was darkness as we were in there. Yeah, that was like the biggest triggering moment of like knowing that we had lost like everything, like even our position on Earth, and we were banished into the depths of the darkness of the Earth. So that's where we went. And we spent many hundreds of years actually living down there. Because I was the inventor and I was able to create highly technologically advanced kinds of gadgets, which, by the way, one of the gadgets that I know that I created, I worked with the elements of the earth. So I worked in that one gadget. I don't know what it did. I have no clue. But it was a sphere, and inside of the sphere was some what's the English word for this? Some fog. There was some fog, so some kind of water that was contained there, but the whole container was made in such a way that the fog didn't dissipate. It was staying in there, and it was, like I said, mixed with some other kind of power, etc. And again, I don't know what it did, but point being, I was able to invent new gadgets based on the elements that were present on Earth. And that's what I did. When I went down there with my people, I created specific kinds of tools and technologies that made life underneath the surface bearable, and essentially was able to create a space where we could thrive there. So that was some kind of, I think the biggest thing that I was a part of creating was a second sun, almost, so that we had some kind of sunlight down there, or something that resembled sunlight that had the same effect on plant growth, etc. So that was something that I was able to create. There came a period in that lifetime where I needed to leave again, because I created several books, or like written my knowledge, shared my knowledge with my people, with my civilization that was down there. And there was a moment in time where I knew staying down there, I would not be helpful to them anymore. I wasn't able to help them. And I also, like I said, I was super psychic. I got a vision about a different kind of lifetime in my soul evolution, that in order for me to live that kind of lifetime, I needed to leave where I was at the moment in time, at that time. Just so you know. And I believe that lifetime is the one that I'm living now, or at least that's what I've gathered in this hypnosis, that I got a vision about the lifetime I'm living right now. No idea how that ties into that. Absolutely wild. But because of that, I needed to leave. And in like other alien civilizations, sometimes they have a specific kind of pact of ending their own lives after a specific period of time for the best of the civilization, because they work based on unity consciousness. And all of this to say that ending your own life in that way is not necessarily, doesn't have the same connotation as it does for us in human society. So in that lifetime, after I've taught everyone everything, I've done everything I needed to do in that lifetime for that civilization, etc., I ended my life. I quit. I do have a bit of a memory about this, and I know it was not easy to take our own lives. There was some kind of ritual involved for that, and I do know that I went very, 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 very deep down into the earth. Honestly, as a human, we can't go there, because in this memory I saw like magma around. So it was like some kind of magma cave, cavern, with like some kind of higher plateau, and there was like one very sharp kind of rock also in the middle. They were like going up from the magma, and well, that's what I did. And again, there was some kind of ritual involved. So that's the memory of that lifetime that I have. And I discovered in the next couple of days, the emotions were like coming up, because I also have memories from the time after I was incarnated there, because my soul didn't immediately like go back to all that is, I stuck around for a while. And I remember watching my own funeral. I remember being able to check into the civilization that beat us above the surface, and the amount of anger and rage that was connected to that, and that just like honestly hatred, pure hatred. And I'm a very, like in this lifetime, I'm a very gentle person. Like hatred is not really something that's part of my repertoire when it comes to emotions. So for the couple of days like following that kind of hypnosis, all of these like detailed emotions were coming up in connection to that. And it was wild because I had emotions coming up and then fragments of more memories that were connected to that. So I was walking my dog one day and I felt hatred in a way that I never experienced before. And alongside that, as I was walking, came a fragment of this memory of floating around as pure energy and checking in on that civilization that defeated us, because they were actually like highly impressed by the kind of power that I had. And they were trying to find out my secrets. They were trying to emulate the kinds of gadgets that I was building, etc., all of that. And almost to a point where they like revered me a bit, or revered my power a bit. And from what I saw was that they even had like some kind of statue or some kind of thing that was supposed to be a representation of me that they had to like honor my power, to revere my power. And the hatred that I felt, like I said, was something that I've never ever experienced before. Alongside like all of this like super deep grief from sending all of my loved ones into battle and knowing that all of them would die. Because also following that, there were some memories coming up, some fragments from the relationships that I've had in that kind of society when I was that alien on planet Earth. I got like glimpses into the kind of loving relationship, or the love and romantic relationship that I had. Like I said, I had some kind of lover in that lifetime, and I saw like glimpses of that, and like the emotions that are connected to the grief were coming up now in my body, and I felt them in my body. Absolutely wild. Absolutely, yeah, wild moment in time. Let me also say before I share how I cleared that with you, that in that particular lifetime, or in general when it comes to past lives and memories of past lives, they can come up either because you have some kind of trauma that you didn't properly process and that you need to process, or that you're ready to process now, which is one reason why this presented itself to me. But a second reason could be that you have some kind of soul gift that you mastered in some kind of lifetime that is ready to re-enter your life. And the conclusion from this lifetime for me, where I was such a crystal clear psychic visionary and being able to tap into all of these timelines and seeing what was going to happen with the probability, because like when it comes to psychic vision, the different kinds of timelines are where you can get a bit tripped up, which is why on my channel actually at the moment, or in the past, I will say I didn't really do a lot of predictions because I'm aware of the timelines. And you know, if you just think about, for example, someone having a car accident, the amounts of steps that each person that's driving the car has to take, which kind of street they need to go in, do they stop at the red light or do they speed and try and make it? All of these events coming together, all of these micro decisions that lead to someone having a car accident, with these two people having a car accident in exactly the way that they're having it, in exactly the right moment, with the right speed, etc. You know what I mean? Every single moment, all of these micro actions, when they make a different decision, means they're on a different timeline. So that's why when it comes to predictions, I didn't really do predictions on my channel, and I don't really like to do them at the present time. But back then, I was able to tap into the probability of the timelines. And because of the amount of grief and pain that I suffered there, I actually closed myself off to this gift. I said to myself, if being able to see comes with that amount of grief and pain, I don't want to be any part of this. I don't want this gift. I don't want to use it. I'm going to lock it off. And so I did. I locked that off. And that's why it's returning. Because it's time. Like, it's time for me not only to process those emotions, and I have processed them. I mean, you see me still reacting a bit with tears. So, you know, there's still some grief that is in the process of being transmuted and felt and processed, etc. But overall, I've done a lot of work surrounding this topic. So, and by the way, also the like psychic vision in the other lifetimes, it was always present in my other lifetimes. It was never fully blocked off. It was always something that was breaching through one way or another. And the other trauma of losing my home repeatedly is something that I also hadn't processed. And I have several lifetimes where, sure enough, the pattern of losing my home, also in this lifetime, has been something that has been re-emerging until the time that it is ready to be dealt with, which is now, this lifetime. So how did I work with these kinds of memories? I mean, you know, I am a healer, so I have the advantage of having healing tools. And for me, these kinds of memories were coming up to sharpen my gifts, to extend my gifts and expand my gifts. So I was working with the emotional release through EFT tapping, which, if you're not familiar with that, that's emotional freedom technique. And it's a tapping technique where you very, very gently tap on the key acupuncture points of your body, which allows your body to go into a state of feeling calm and relaxed. And through skillful phrasing, you can release from the subconscious. So you can clear out the emotional storage of your body and the physical storage of your body. So that was a huge factor of what I've been using. But it wasn't fully enough, to be honest. Which brings me to the second healing modality that I used for it, which is Reiki healing. I'm an Usui Reiki practitioner, and I'm able to send Reiki energy to the past. Because on the level of energy, time doesn't exist. So I was giving Reiki sessions and sending Reiki to past life, to that past life moment of myself, to that lifetime, as well as to the moment when this super triggering moment of when I saw this like huge stone door close and everything went dark, which the fact that I can say it to you like this and there's no huge emotional reaction coming in this way, I've cleared that, I've cleansed that. Because before I wasn't even able to look at that memory at all. Like it came up and it went dark immediately. So these are like the two biggest things that I did to clear the trauma that was connected to that lifetime. EFT tapping to clear out the emotions, and Reiki healing to sever the energetic cords that were still there, the energy ties, as well as to like harmonize the energy body, my energy body now, but also my energy body in the way that it was back then. So yeah, working on the level of energy. These are the two biggest things that I did. As a takeaway from that lifetime, question that you might probably have is, are they still there? Are the aliens still there? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I didn't investigate that. But I can tell you that afterwards, like I said, I didn't research this kind of history of this like Irish folklore beforehand. But after I had my past life hypnosis session, I went and looked into different images that were connected to like pictures of places that, you know, in Irish folklore that are known for or have like some kind of historical correlation to the Irish folklore, to the Fae folk, that are connected somehow to the Fae folk. And I stumbled on one of them, and I don't remember the name right now, to be honest with you. I have it written down somewhere. But I saw that mountain in my vision. Okay, when I went back to visit my past lifetime, I saw that one actual physical place, and I saw it now as a picture form on Google search. Because that was the place where we landed. That was the place where we were. Which was crazy to me as well, because like it brought, from a personal perspective, it brought like a whole new validity to my experience that this is a physical place that exists that I had no prior knowledge of, and I saw it in a Google image. Like, I could see it. It was a picture. Someone took it. And yeah, I mean, the like implications for me and what it means, I have no words to describe those to you as well, because like I said, that was like the first lifetime where I woke up to this, and it was a huge one. And I mean, doing the kind of work that I'm doing, I am working, I guess, in the psychic field, I'm working with energy again. So, there are very strong connections to that lifetime, and I need to be able to access my full gifts in order to do the kind of work that I want to do in this lifetime. So that's why this has been coming to my attention. And what better way to go there than to go into the core wound of this blockage, of me deciding there is no way, the amount of pain that comes with that, there is no way that I want to reconnect with that. I will also say that in this lifetime that I'm in right now, like psychic gifts have been present also all throughout my life. And I've also, from a young age, have been able to see events, have like dreams of premonition. They were mostly presenting themselves through dreams to me of things happening to people surrounding me. And sometimes they were happening, sometimes they were not happening, which again ties back into the different timelines. And since that memory, all of this stuff has been taken up for me like 20 notches. It was like after I started to clear that, particularly, I had one Reiki session that was really trippy, to be honest with you, because I was standing here, I had my massage table out, I had, like my little textile body out that I use so that I can give like good feedback, etc. And I had that out, and I was standing here, and I had to keep my eyes open. I couldn't close them because otherwise I was like giving an energy healing session to myself while I was standing outside of myself, if that makes any sense to you. And I had to draw my attention down to my feet, so to pay attention to feeling grounded on the earth, like in this room that I'm in. And I had to remind myself a couple of times that actually, no, I'm not back there. I'm in 2023, because that was last year. I'm in 2023, and I'm in this place at this time. I'm doing this so that I would not get sucked in. And like I said, it was super trippy, super intense as well. That first memory as an alien on Earth opened the door to me of remembering so many more of my past lives when I was not human, when I was an alien, and like doing all different sorts of jobs in different places, different memories, etc. And I've had quite a few more that were connecting me back to past gifts. And basically, if I can give you one overview of all of this, I was essentially opening up the storybook of my lives and seeing like different windows, different pages, opening different pages, and seeing all these different fragments of memories and things that I've learned. And for a lot of them, there's like a huge correlation to this with this lifetime that I'm living right now, where there are certain fragments of my work that I have been doing that have some kind of connection to past lives, which is wild. And I'm going to make this a bit of a series. So this is the first one that I wanted to share with you, the first experience that I wanted to share with you. And there will also be some experiences as a human, naturally. It's going to be a mix. And I guess we're going to look at my soul journey together. So all of this to say, if you're curious about the journey of the soul and soul evolution and why we are remembering past lives and why this is a topic that will be relevant for a lot of us in the next couple of years. If you're curious about that, I got a video linked up there for you that you can look at in a moment. And aside from that, you know what? That was my lifetime of being an alien on Earth while the humans were around.